Yesterday feels like a big turning point in this Premier League title race. Arsenal have gone 6 points clear over Manchester City, and they've added huge pressure to City, who now have to play 6 games in a period of 20 days. Now, Fulham, on paper, they're a very, very balanced side. They've got some good players like Harry Wilson, etc., some very, very experienced players. But they're not really playing for too much. I don't believe they're strong enough to get Europe. I think there's teams around that are better, and they're miles away from getting relegated. So the only thing they're really playing for is they're just playing. But you still have to beat what's in front of you, right? You still have to go out there, Arsenal, and beat a team that is... they're still a tough nut to crack. They're only a few points off of Europe, Fulham, but I just don't think, as it stands, they've got what it takes, in my personal opinion. Their recent form has dropped a bit. Now, what Man City have to do, if Man City want to win this Premier League, they have to be flawless between now and the end of the season. I personally feel, I'm calling it now, Arsenal fans, get ready. I do believe they will get the Premier League over the line, Arsenal. It may go down to the final day of the season. It may go down to goal difference. But what we saw yesterday, it reminded me of Mikel Arteta's first season. Fluid, attacking, or first season they challenged, sorry. Fluid, attacking football. One touch, pass and move, high press, Trossard assist, Saka, goal and an assist, Gyökeres, 2 goals. They looked a team that had the perfect balance last night. We haven't seen that a lot this season. They've had a lot of games where, they battered Aston Villa and they battered us. I don't even want to think about that, but they did. They battered Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid. But a lot of those games, normally Arsenal perform better against the stronger teams because they play out and they want to go on the front foot. In recent years, it's been the Fulhams where a couple of seasons ago, they had a man sent off, equalised very, very late, and they drew to Fulham. Or it's been a Brighton where Declan Rice got sent off and they drew. Or it's been a West Ham where Bukayo Saka missed a penalty and they drew. They went out there and comfortably put Fulham, in a very, very difficult situation during that game because Arsenal were deserved winners. And you look at how the Premier League table looks right now, as we're recording this, Bournemouth are currently 2-0 up against Crystal Palace. But Arsenal's last 3 games is Crystal Palace, West Ham and relegated Burnley. Whereas City have to play Bournemouth, who are currently about to be 16 games unbeaten. 16 games. They have to play Everton away. They have to play Aston Villa at home, Brentford at home and Crystal Palace. And they've got to do all of that while an FA Cup final is on the horizon. Listen, they could do it. And no one is saying Man City can't win the league. But to play 6 games in 20 days, that's going to be tough. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already and you let me know your thoughts. We are Tokyo drifting our way to 100,000 subscribers. We are 60 away from 94k. If you haven't already, please go down and let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button. Would be greatly appreciated. Now, look at Manchester City's. Look, their form has been very, very good. There's lots of goals. There's clean sheets in there. There's big wins, right? But this here is going to be, it's going to be tough, man. And they've got a friendly on the 1st of August as well. Booked in the diary already. These football clubs are relentless. That there, look, I don't see I think Man City were going to slip up. I do think they're going to slip up. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think they are. Everton away, tough. Brentford at home, not an easy game. They battered West Ham yesterday. They're playing for Europe. Crystal Palace, 3 days before an FA Cup final. And then Bournemouth away, 3 days after the FA Cup final. And then Aston Villa, 5 days after Bournemouth. I mean, look, it's gonna be very, very close, right? It's gonna be very, very close. Then you look at Arsenal's fixtures. Now, if you take out the Atletico Madrid game, they should beat them and they should make it to a Champions League final. But let's move that game out of the conversation for a second. And let's talk about these 3 games. Burnley are already relegated. If we beat Aston Villa today, that puts immense pressure on West Ham. Burnley at home will be 8 days after that game against West Ham. So they have a long time to rest and recover, right? In 19 days, Arsenal have to play 2 less games than Manchester City. Man City have got 6 between the 4th and the 24th. Whereas Arsenal have got 4 between the 5th and the 24th. So they can rest, recover, and prepare more. Now, if Arsenal do beat Atletico Madrid and make the Champions League final, the Champions League final will be on the 30th of May. It's crunch time now. This is the business end of the season. This is where titles are won. This is where heroes are born. This is where, I sound like I'm doing a pitch for a movie, but this is where you earn your money as a manager. This is where you earn your money as a player in these moments. And look, during the tough period that Arsenal have been through, they got a clean sheet and 3 points against Newcastle. They got a clean sheet and 3 points against Fulham. And they went to Atletico Madrid in a hostile atmosphere and got a draw. If they then go out there and beat Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, every single Arsenal fan is going to be on cloud 9 because it will be their first Champions League final in 20 years. Now, for me, Man City have more goals in them and are a huge, huge threat. But tomorrow's game is absolutely massive for them. It is huge. The predicted lineups look like this from FootMob. If they go with that team, I think Man City will win, but I think it will be very, 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 very close. You know, Everton are a tough side to play under the lights. They haven't got a fantastic home record, but something about this Everton team, I just have a feeling they may get something. And then when you look at goal difference now, so Arsenal's goal difference is 4 better. If they then put 3 or 4 goals past Burnley, this could go down to the final game of the season. Now, I believe Arsenal could go their next 3 games without conceding a goal. You know, they could comfortably beat Burnley 3 or 4-0 and put their goal difference on plus 50 by the end of the season. They could quite easily score 9 goals in 3 games. West Ham is going to be a very, very tough. I think that's their biggest game of Arteta's career, and that says a lot because West Ham can't stand Arsenal. And as you can see down by the bottom of the Premier League, West Ham are fighting for their lives. If we beat Aston Villa today, we're out of the bottom 3. We drag Nottingham Forest right back into it because there'd only be 3 points between West Ham and Forest. And bearing in mind tomorrow, Nottingham Forest have to go and play Chelsea. The next few days are massive for the relegation and for the title race. Honestly, it couldn't really be poised any better if you're a neutral fan who wants to see drama. It's going to be, honestly, you couldn't, the movie writers couldn't have asked for a better script. You really, really couldn't. Now, as I said, if Man City go out there and beat Everton tomorrow and they go and they're flawless throughout the rest of the season, then listen, they deserve it. 100%, they deserve it. Fair play. If you go out there and you win all those games and you score that many goals and you keep clean sheets and you win the FA Cup, then listen, Man City deserve this league title. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Man City have what it takes to go out and win 6 games in 20 days? I mean, that's one game every 2.8 days where you have to be flawless. Because Arsenal, as it stands, are 6 points clear. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out the watch along later. I'll also be covering the Manchester United game on here. Massive game tonight, Spurs versus Aston Villa. We will be doing a watch along on the second channel. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. I am out.